Greetings, my friends. Father Leo here. And this is the 13th Sunday of Ordinary Time. And I want to carry on from last week where I asked us to focus in our reflection on nature, creation, and sort of how we as a people of faith, what do we see and how do we see it? And what does it mean to us? Those are the big questions. Anybody can look at a nice nature scene and say, isn't it lovely? But somehow when you bring the eye of faith to it, you see something more, and it's always the more. Now today, early afternoon, I watched a beautiful liturgy on my television. Came out of the Sky Dome at Toronto. Peterborough should have a Sky Dome. Anyway, and then what it did, first of all, a beautiful unfolding of welcoming people from various other countries to Canada, where they officially became citizens. And it was a beautiful way. The way it was handled with respect and love and caring, like it was all there, beautiful. And a giant flag, which was unfolded as a background for this display. And the singing of the national anthem. And so it was very touching. And the 30,000 plus people certainly were very much engaged in what was happening on the field. And the two ball teams came out, and balls were given to the new citizens, Canadians, and they had the experience of throwing it to a professional ball player who caught it and then returned it to them. And so they left that souvenir, a very important part of that journey of becoming a citizen of Canada. And it was a beautiful liturgy. And it seems to be that so often in our entertainment world, they can design liturgies which are really beautiful and touch the heart, are awe-inspiring, and touch something deep within the human psyche. And so that was the first thing today. The second thing that happened as I got ready for this weekend, where I was going to talk about nature, it somehow struck me that if I was going to talk about the environment, ecology, and the abuse of nature, that I had to not be a hypocrite about it. And I have a gas car. I love a gas car. I drive a gas car. But slowly but surely it was telling me it's time to get an electric car. And I visited a couple and made a pastoral call this morning. And when I got there, both the husband and wife showed me their new car. Well, it's not new, it's a used car. But they traded their car in and they got this car, which is a battery operated, and it's a beautiful one. And I think they said it's a 2018 with about 18,000 miles on it. So it's perfect. It's almost like a brand new car. And they offered me to take it for a drive, which I did. And it confirmed that I'm going to go to one of our agencies and ask them about if a good used electric car is turned in, give me a call. And maybe, just maybe, I will make a deal. And I'll feel I'm doing something for the environment in a very positive way. So having said that, kind of setting the stage, I want to read. When I was younger, I could remember things. But now that I get older, my memory ain't what it used to be many long years ago. You know that song, the old gray mare, she ain't to be. Well, now it's the old gray pastor, he ain't what he used to be, ain't what he used to be many long years ago. So here's what we're going to look at today. If I can find it here, just don't go away. It's from a mystic. A mystic has written this. Now we're in what we call the fourth industrial revolution. And things are changing very quickly. Very quickly. Change is taking place. And the chaos looks like chaos to us. However, from creation's perspective, it's not chaos at all. It's evolution doing what evolution is meant to do. So having said that, here's what I want to begin with. It's a reading from a mystic who wrote the following. And you have to excuse it because it was written long ago. It's not politically correct. And he uses the word man. So if I was writing it, I'd use women and men, but I didn't write it. Some other mystic. Here's how it reads. Man cannot long separate himself from nature without withering as a cut rose in a vase. You and I know that. You take a rose, a beautiful rose growing out of the ground, cut it, bring it in the house, put it in a vase, and within 2 or 3 days, it withers. That's a powerful metaphor. And I want you to hang on to that metaphor. One of the deceptive aspects of mind in man is to give them the illusion of being distinct from and over against, but not a part of nature. So here it is, how the mystic is telling us that many of us are living a great illusion. A great illusion. And that reminded me of a song. Don't know whether Simon and Garfunkel or Joni Mitchell, who's talked about the illusions of life. I don't understand life at all. It's illusion I am living. Living illusions. And what this mystic is saying, that humankind is living an illusion because they've separated themselves from nature. And we know that particularly with religion. We talk about religion being anthropomorphic, which means it's all about humans, and very little to do with creation. So this mystic has it right on, and it's illusion. I wonder how that hits us. Can we ever admit that we're living a great illusion when it comes to nature? When we think of the rivers and oceans and streams, think of all living creatures, and we're living an illusion. We're living an illusion that the good life, which we enjoy here in this part of the world, well, I shouldn't say we do. The vast majority of Canadians do, but there are many who don't enjoy a good life here in Canada, as in many parts of the world. So again, it's that illusion that we're living, and the separation again between the have and the have-nots. The haves, privileged Canadians, white people, and the have-nots. And you again know who they are and how life is very tough for them, the poor and the marginalized. But that's the illusion. And many of us live the illusion that we somehow have a right to be able to live the good life. It is but a single leap thus to regard nature as being so completely other than himself that he may exploit it, plunder, rape it with impunity. And so that's what he's talking about. The action it leads to, when we're not, if humans are not a part of nature and are separate from it and living in illusion, then yeah, why not? Consumerism, out of control consumerism, is a good example of living the illusion. And he goes on further to say, we see all around us in the modern world Our atmosphere is polluted. Our streams are poisoned. Our hills are denuded. Wildlife is increasingly exterminated, while more and more man becomes an alien on the earth and a fowler of his own nest. Again, powerful images. An alien on earth doesn't belong. And fowler of his own nest. The earth is meant to be our home. We come from the earth. We are earthlings. The price that's being exacted for this is a deep sense of isolation, of being rootless and a vagabond. Often I have surmised that this condition is more responsible for what seems to be the phenomenal increase in mental and emotional disturbances in modern life than the pressures, be it from economic, social, or political, that abound in every hand. The collective psyche shrieks with the agony that it feels as a part of the death cry of a pillaged nature. This author is using really severe, strong language, very strong language, a nature which is being pillaged and a death cry. There's so much death around us, as you know, so much death around us. The dying of, as he points out, of oceans and wildlife and so many ways. And as I've often said, and not much me, but scientists have said, that basically a sick earth will produce sick creatures, living creatures, humans. And in that sick earth thing, where there is that illusion of separation, he talks about the increase of mental illness. And we hear that today. I often read in our books how many of our mental health people are saying the rise of anxiety, especially in elementary school children and high school children. And, for most of us adults, when we look back and think of it, we would never think for a minute of being anxious when we went to school, because life was pretty predictable and steady, and the feeling all was in order. But now our young people are discovering, and they're feeling it's not in order. And they're feeling the anxiety, the mental health. And with the increase of mental health, anxiety in particular, then we have a lack of services. And even when it does come to services, are they really helping? We know that many of the services, first of all, it takes time to get an appointment with a therapist or a psychologist. And even then, what's the treatment? Therapy is good, yes. Medication, pills, well, a lot of people question that one. And secondly, the healing power of nature, of reconnecting with nature. Father Richard Rohr, in some of his men's retreats, he has his men spend 2 days and 2 nights in the wilderness. And they experience the embrace of nature, the experience of power of nature, the healing power, and they return changed men. They are transformed by that experience of spending time alone in the forest. And yet you don't see that as part of the therapy that's offered to people who are feeling anxious. It's rare. So I think what I'm trying to put across today is, look at being, feeling, or believing, or seeing that we're separated from nature is an illusion. In many ways, people are living at that illusion. And that song, Life is Illusion, There's really nothing, I don't know. Life is an illusion. So even our poets, our artists, had that intuitive sense of the separation between people and the earth. We have to remember, we call the earth Mother Earth. Do we really believe she's a mother? You'd never know it by the way we treat her. You never know it. If we treated our human mother the way we treat Mother Earth, we'd be in trouble. We'd be in big trouble. But somehow we still use that word that the earth is our mother, but we really don't believe it. We really don't. We really don't believe that we're earthlings. Because if we did, our life would be different. And so this is why today I'm talking about this to try to help us to open our eyes to see something else. To work at becoming more aware, raising our consciousness. They're all words that we throw out, but do they really mean anything to us if we don't do anything about it? And that's the key to all this. We are earthlings. We're of the earth. We belong to the earth. And in ancient times, when people died, their bodies were placed in a grave. And the ancient people saw that as the second womb. The second womb. The first womb was their mother. The second womb was when their body was buried in the earth. And that's the mother. And what we have to get back is seeing the mother who births and sustains all of life, including you and me and all people. We have to get back to falling in love with Mother. And it does mean radical changes. It really does. It really does. I don't know what they will be. That has to be up to each and all of us. But the one thing I think I want to stress today is the importance of prayer. There was a day when people really prayed about happenings. But I'm afraid in many ways today, prayer has fallen off the table. We got psychologists and psychiatrists and therapists and treatment and pills and medication. Yeah, we got all of that. And yet, we have a sick earth, and we got sick rivers and oceans and mountains and valleys and air, and certainly with the wildfires that are burning in Canada today, we know about bad air and how many people are finding it difficult to breathe those days because of the air filled with smoke. So I guess my final words today is that we need to be people of prayer that really pray for the Spirit to open people's minds and hearts and souls to see, to become aware that they are earthlings, the earth is our mother, and to fall in love with our mother. Is that asking too much? To fall in love with our mother. And by falling in love with Mother Earth, that we take good care of her as we do our human mother. And if that ever happens, you would see a fantastic change, not only in the health of Mother Earth, but in the health of all of creation, and particularly better health for all humans. Better health for all humans. The way I put it is this: sick earth, sick people. Healthy earth, healthy people. It's worth our while investing in once more building a healthy earth. God bless.